Okay, again, I just want to do a very quick little paranormal update. Oh, God. Okay. It's going to be like kind of probably not in the right order. But I'm just going to get through this. Okay. One day, I had Terry over here, and I was getting ready. So she was standing talking to me in the bathroom doorway as I was getting ready and putting my makeup on. And there's a little, because I still haven't got everything put away in the bathroom. And he's still got to do the floor and stuff. So it's just still kind of, a work in progress. And there's a little stand right outside the bathroom door. And Terry was standing right next to that. And as she was talking to me, she was actually talking. Something rattled and moved on that stand. And to be honest, I didn't really think anything of it. And she stopped and said, Marissa, that wasn't me. I'm like, really? She's like, no, listen, that was not me. I could see in her face, because even the people that believe, because I get it. I freaking get it. But you could just see in her face, wow, okay, this is for real. Whoa, I just fucking witnessed it. And if something like that happens, it just, it makes me feel I'm definitely not crazy. And it just vindicates me. I don't know. It just gives me validation. Which, honestly, it just feels good. It is what it is. It feels good when someone else can say, she's not crazy, she's not lying, this shit is actually happening. It's hard because it just, this is my mind frame about it. The people who will make fun and say horrible things, whatever, they just make fun of you and they dismiss you and whatever. I've come to this point in realization, and maybe it may not be true for everybody, but I'm saying to myself, you know what? They have chosen to listen to the wrong people, and their ignorance, is they're afraid because it's unknown, and they're just ignorant, and it's not, I'm not insulting their intelligence. They don't know. They're ignorant, and they're fearful. And so, that can be a reaction to that. And that's fine. But I am going to continue to be brave and honest. And that's just how it's going to be, Even if any of my videos happen to reach somebody who needed to hear them or whatever, for whatever reason, great. If not, I'm okay with that too. I'm not doing this for anybody. I'm simply sharing my experiences honestly and bravely. And I'm going to continue to do that. So, that being said, it really feels good when you get that validation from somebody else. It really does. She was really freaked out. She was she couldn't get over it for a few minutes, And I was just I told you. There was a video I made of, I posted it, I think, of, whoa, boiled dinner. And I wasn't planning on trying to get any EVPs or anything, but I heard it. It's a very short, a 13-second video, I think. And you can just hear, right after I scrape the spoon on the bottom of the pan the first time, right after that, you can hear, hey. And it's real. Okay, this is what's weird about that to me. And by the way, at the end of the video, you hear, hey, You know, if you listen really closely, you can hear, hey, you. And there might be other stuff in there too. But anyways, those two things I know for certain. I've listened to it so many times. So I sent it to my husband and I asked him if he could hear it. And he told me at first, no, he couldn't. And when he came home, I was like, you're going to listen to this again in front of me and look me in the eye and tell me that you don't hear it. So I played it for him. I put it right to his ear. And I could see his face. It was like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, I hear that. That sounds like one of the kids. That was his immediate reaction to hearing it. And I said, no, it was not one of the kids, honey. They were all in bed, if you remember. Everyone was in bed when I started to make that stuff. And it was done in that video. They were all asleep. For sure, 100%. I said, remember? And he did. He did. I could tell in his face. He's like, oh yeah, they were. It definitely was not the kids. No. And I wondered why he would say it sounded like the kids, because to me it was just a whisper. But here's the weird thing about it. I've listened to that like a lot of times. And one night I figured out why he said that, because it actually sounded like a voice, and it sounded like a kid's voice. It's so hard to explain. And why, when you listen to it 20 million times, it sounds like a whisper, and then for these other 3 times, you can actually hear a voice that sounds like a high-pitched kid's voice. I don't know. I played last night again, and I can only hear a whisper now. So I'm totally confused as to why or how. I don't know. I don't know. It's very odd. I mean, maybe there's an explanation for that. I don't know. So strange. But I did hear, and he didn't say that to me. I just pieced it together because he's very, he hasn't really believed me in a lot of this. And that has been an issue for me. It's hurt my feelings. But, I mean, I think I know the reasons why. But after hearing that, and I just walked away because I'm so emotional about it that just knowing and looking at his face and knowing that he heard it, it was like all I could handle at that moment. And then I don't want to start crying. So I asked him last night again. I'm like, so after hearing that, can you now just tell me that you believe me? And he's like, he didn't give him fully, he didn't fully say, but he just said, I haven't experienced anything. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe you're closed off to it. Maybe it doesn't, want to speak to you. I don't know why. I mean, and I've brought this up in other videos, and I always doubt myself and question my guts and stuff. But I think that it's me. I have always had some opening or connection or something to this stuff, and I just didn't let myself either see it or accept it or whatever. So this is not something new, really. It's not, and I'm just now really understanding that. Which sounds crazy, I know. But, life is fucking crazy. So, I don't know. Maybe, he just doesn't have it, and he doesn't, his mind is closed off to it, and that's why he's not experiencing it. But clearly, I am. There's other stuff that I have not shared, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to. I don't know. So I'm not ready yet. It's just weird. It's weird. But so another thing that happened, and I have to constantly ask my husband, like, did you do this? Did you do this? every time it's no. This is strange. I was taking a shower, and it was early morning, and I had been cleaning, whatever, and I was taking a shower, and the water shut off on me. The shower thing was still up, but the water got shut off. And I was so relaxed with that warm water, just, you know, hitting my body. I had actually dozed off a little bit in the shower. And when I woke up, the water was not running anymore. So I had to ask my husband if he did that. And he looked at me like I had two heads. Like, why would I do that? And I don't know, but I have to ask. Because I know I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It wasn't any of the kids. They weren't going to do that. Yeah, just weird. I think there's more that I'm, like, not remembering. Which is, I probably should start actually writing things down. You know, it doesn't have to be a journal. It can just be listing out the literal, literally listing out the experiences on a daily basis. I mean, if it gets to that point, it's getting to that point where I feel like maybe I do need to start doing that. I will breathe when I'm breathing, and I feel like I'm breathing in static. It's so strange. The staticiness, the static in the air. That's my clue that something is around. And it's a very odd feeling when you breathe and you can, like, taste static in the air. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. But that has been my clue that something is there. So I think what I ought to do is the next time that or any time that I'm feeling that static in the air, I should start recording and just see if I can get some questions answered, you know? Who is this? What do you want? I don't know. Winter's coming, and that's all fine, but I hate cold. I hate the cold. I hate the snow. I hate the ice. I hate driving in it. I don't want to. I mean, luckily I'm not. There's not too much driving that I have to do in it, but I don't know. It's just depressing. It's the depressing time of year. Even though, I don't know, as I get older, like, I feel like I'm hating it less. I mean, first of all, every day goes by quicker the older you get, at least in my experience. And so, even though the winters are very long, they're not like, they kind of go by quick. Every year goes by quick. And sometimes I don't mind, like, just having to be bundled up warm at home, doing nothing. But it's also depressing. And, with all the stuff going on, I don't know. I will say again that I don't feel I don't feel an evilness. But what are the intentions? I don't know. And there have been some things that maybe make that a question, like, to bring up. And it's just, I don't want to say, but it's just weird things. But because I don't feel comfortable, just, then I think that's another reason why I should probably just start writing this shit down. I do have a lot of videos that are private that I have not posted publicly. But so I know I'm missing stuff, but those 3 events were the major things that I wanted to get out there. Yeah, coming to in the shower. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? What? Oh, and the door opened. I made a video about that. One night, the door, at first, like the knob turned, and it felt like, you know, just a little bit of pressure somewhere from another door, maybe, or someone just took the handle and was gonna come in and then didn't. And then, so I'm looking, I went out and asked Brian, it wasn't him. And then it was a little while later, it actually opened. Like, not a lot, but it opened, you know, good, like that amount. And I immediately went to see, and there was nobody there. So the door did open by itself. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost didn't tell you this. Say this. This morning, I'm in the bathroom getting ready, and I had this glow tonic from Pixie. It was like on the side with things in front of it, and it got flung off my bathroom counter and onto the floor and upside down, so it was spilling. And I'm like, there's not much left of it. And I'm like, son of a bitch. You know, I don't want to waste that shit. It happened 3 times. It got flung off the counter, and I wasn't touching it. By that 3rd time, I was like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, wow. So I put the phone up, I'm like, come on, do it again. You did it 3 times in 20 minutes. Do it again. Do it. Couldn't get it on film. But yeah, it definitely got flung off the counter. Because at first I'm like, oh, maybe you know, there's a cord there. Maybe I, you know, somehow did it. You know, you question yourself. But that 3rd time, absolutely no way. There was no. I was not touching anything. And it got flung off my counter. So, for sure, the 3rd time, I was 100% something did that. It wasn't me. It was not me. But when I, you know, and I was trying, I was like, do it again. You obviously can do it. You just did it 3 times. Do it again. It would not do it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. That is that. I get to tell everybody on Thanksgiving to their faces what it's been feeling like and what it's like to live in a place like this.